Listen, if you're over 65 and still driving, you need to hear this right now. Three major changes are coming to driving regulations in 2026, and they're specifically targeting older drivers. Now, before you get upset or think this is age discrimination, stick with me because some of these changes might actually surprise you. I'm going to break down exactly what these new rules are, who they affect, and most importantly, what you need to do to prepare. So, buckle up because this information could literally determine whether you keep your driving privileges next year. I've been covering automotive news and driving regulations for years now, and I have to tell you, I haven't seen changes this significant in a very long time. These aren't just minor tweaks to existing laws. We're talking about fundamental shifts in how licensing works for senior drivers across multiple states. And here's the thing that really caught my attention. These changes are rolling out simultaneously in several states, which suggests this is part of a larger national trend that's only going to expand. So, what exactly are these three new rules? Let me walk you through each one, and I promise you by the end of this video, you're going to have a complete understanding of what's coming and how to navigate it. The first major change involves mandatory vision testing requirements. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't we already have vision tests? Yes, but here's what's different. Starting in 2026, drivers aged 65 and older will be required to undergo comprehensive vision screenings every 2 years instead of the current system where many states allow renewals without any vision check at all. But it goes deeper than that. These aren't going to be your basic eye chart tests anymore. The new protocols include peripheral vision assessment, depth perception evaluation, and most significantly, testing for conditions like glaucoma and macular degeneration that specifically affect older drivers. What makes this particularly important is that many seniors don't even realize their vision has deteriorated because it happens so gradually. You adapt to it without noticing. I've talked to ophthalmologists who tell me they regularly see patients who are shocked to discover they don't meet minimum vision standards anymore. The scary part is that some of these folks have been driving for years with compromised vision, putting themselves and others at risk without even knowing it. Under the new rules, if you don't pass the vision screening, you won't automatically lose your license. Instead, you'll be given a medical referral and typically 60 to 90 days to get corrective treatment, whether that's new glasses, cataract surgery, or other medical interventions. After treatment, you'll need to be recertified by an eye care professional before you can continue driving. Some states are even implementing restricted licenses for those with partial vision issues, limiting driving to daylight hours only, or prohibiting highway driving. Now let's talk about the second major change, and this one is probably the most controversial: mandatory cognitive screening assessments. This is where things get really interesting and honestly, where a lot of people are pushing back. Beginning in 2026, drivers over 65 will need to complete a basic cognitive function test as part of their license renewal process. Before you get defensive, let me explain what this actually means. These tests are not designed to be demeaning or to question your intelligence. They're specifically calibrated to identify early signs of cognitive decline that could affect driving safety, things like reaction time, decision-making speed, and the ability to process multiple pieces of information simultaneously. Think about what driving actually requires. You're constantly making split-second decisions, monitoring multiple vehicles, reading signs, following traffic signals, and responding to unexpected situations. All of this requires sharp cognitive function. The test typically takes about 15 to 20 minutes and includes exercises like pattern recognition, memory recall, and reaction time measurements. You might be asked to remember a sequence of numbers, identify objects quickly, or respond to simulated driving scenarios on a computer screen. The pass rate is actually quite high, somewhere around 85% for the initial screening, so this isn't designed to fail everyone. It's designed to catch the cases where someone's cognitive abilities have declined to the point where driving becomes dangerous. Here's what concerns me though. Studies show that cognitive decline can be incredibly subtle in its early stages. Someone might feel completely fine and capable, but their reaction time might be delayed by just a fraction of a second. That fraction of a second is the difference between stopping in time and causing an accident. The data is pretty sobering. According to recent traffic safety research, drivers over 75 are involved in fatal crashes at a rate similar to teenage drivers, and cognitive factors play a significant role in many of those accidents. If someone doesn't pass the cognitive screening, the process is similar to the vision testing. You're not immediately stripped of your license. Instead, you're referred for a comprehensive evaluation by a healthcare provider who specializes in geriatric medicine or neurology. Depending on that evaluation, you might be cleared to drive with certain restrictions, or you might need to take a refresher driving course before being recertified. In some cases, yes, licenses may be suspended or revoked if the cognitive impairment is severe enough to pose a safety risk. The third major change coming in 2026 is a restructured renewal process that includes mandatory in-person visits and practical driving assessments. This is huge because many states have moved to online renewal systems over the past decade, allowing drivers to renew their licenses without ever setting foot in a DMV. That's all changing for drivers 65 and older. Under the new regulations, senior drivers will be required to appear in person for every renewal, and here's the kicker. They'll need to complete an actual road test with a certified examiner. Not the full comprehensive test you took when you were 16, but a condensed practical assessment that evaluates your current driving abilities. This typically includes demonstrating basic vehicle control, parallel parking or backing up safely, navigating intersections, proper signaling and lane changes, and responding appropriately to traffic conditions. The frequency of these in-person renewals is also changing. Instead of the standard 4 to 8 year renewal cycles most states currently use, drivers over 65 will need to renew every 2 to 3 years depending on the state. This might sound inconvenient, and honestly, it is. But the reasoning behind it is that health conditions and driving abilities can change significantly over shorter time periods as we age. Transportation safety advocates have been pushing for these changes for years, pointing to statistics that show age-related impairments develop and progress much faster in older populations. What's completely fine at 70 might not be fine at 74, and an 8-year renewal cycle just doesn't capture those changes quickly enough. The more frequent assessment schedule is designed to ensure that everyone on the road meets current safety standards. Now, let me address something important because I know some of you are thinking this feels like discrimination, and I get it. I really do. The idea that you're being singled out because of your age doesn't feel good. But here's the thing, these regulations aren't based on stereotypes or ageist assumptions. They're based on decades of traffic safety data, medical research, and accident statistics. The reality is that certain age-related conditions do affect driving ability, just like certain conditions affecting younger drivers require restrictions or limitations. Think about it this way. We require teenage drivers to go through graduated licensing programs because data shows they lack experience and have higher risk profiles. We require commercial truck drivers to meet more stringent medical standards because they're operating larger, more dangerous vehicles. These aren't age discrimination or occupation discrimination. They're safety measures based on empirical evidence. The new rules for senior drivers fall into the same category. But let's talk about what you can do to prepare, because that's really what matters. If you're 65 or older and these changes concern you, there are concrete steps you can take right now to make sure you're ready. First, schedule a comprehensive eye exam with an optometrist or ophthalmologist as soon as possible. Don't wait until you're required to do it. Get ahead of any potential issues now. If you need corrective lenses or treatment for eye conditions, getting that done now gives you plenty of time before the new requirements kick in. Second, have an honest conversation with your doctor about your cognitive health. Ask them if there are any concerns about your reaction time, memory, or decision-making abilities. Consider taking online brain training exercises that focus on the types of skills used in driving. There are apps and programs specifically designed to help maintain cognitive sharpness, and many of them are free or low cost. Third, consider taking a voluntary defensive driving course. Organizations like AARP offer driver safety programs specifically designed for mature drivers. These courses not only refresh your knowledge of current traffic laws and safe driving practices, but they also often qualify you for insurance discounts. Plus, taking one of these courses proactively shows that you're committed to safe driving, which could work in your favor if there are ever any questions about your abilities. Fourth, do a self assessment of your driving. Be brutally honest with yourself. Are there situations where you feel less confident? Do you avoid driving at night or in bad weather? Do you find highway merging more stressful than it used to be? These aren't signs of failure. They're signs that you're being responsible and aware. If you notice limitations, acknowledging them and adjusting your driving habits accordingly is actually the smartest thing you can do. Finally, start thinking about your long-term transportation plan. I know nobody wants to consider eventually giving up driving, but having a plan in place reduces stress and anxiety. Research public transportation options in your area, look into ride-sharing services, talk to family and friends about support systems, and investigate senior transportation programs that many communities offer. Having these options mapped out doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're being prepared and responsible. The reality is that these new regulations are coming whether we like them or not. Multiple states have already passed legislation, and more are expected to follow throughout 2026 and beyond. This is the new landscape of driving for seniors, and understanding it now puts you in a position of power rather than being caught off guard later. I want to emphasize something really important before we wrap up. Aging is not a disease, and needing to take these tests doesn't mean you're incompetent or unsafe. What it means is that our society is finally taking traffic safety seriously enough to implement evidence-based policies that protect everyone on the road, including older drivers themselves. Many accidents involving senior drivers result in serious injuries to those drivers because age also affects how well our bodies withstand trauma. These regulations are designed to keep you safe just as much as they're designed to keep other drivers safe. And honestly, most senior drivers I've spoken with who've gone through similar testing in states where it already exists say that passing the assessments actually gave them confidence. It validated that they're still capable and safe behind the wheel. So here's my challenge to you. Don't approach these changes with fear or resentment. Approach them with preparation and confidence. Take control of the situation by being proactive. Get your vision checked, keep your mind sharp, practice your driving skills, and stay informed about the specific requirements in your state because the details can vary. Before I let you go, I want to hear from you. Are you affected by these new rules? How do you feel about them? Do you think they're fair and necessary, or do you believe they go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this is a conversation worth having. And if you found this information helpful, do me a favor and share this video with any friends or family members who might need to know about these changes. The more people who are informed and prepared, the smoother this transition is going to be for everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe out there on the roads, take care of yourselves, and remember that driving is a privilege that comes with responsibility at every age. I'll see you in the next video where we'll dive even deeper into state-specific requirements and answer the most common questions about these new regulations. Until then, drive safe and stay informed.